From the Mapleview Animal Hospital studios, this is the WHTC Morning News with Gary Stevens and Peg McNichol on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com.
Welcome back to the WHTC Morning News for this Friday, December the 18th. I'm Gary Stevens. Friday mornings, we wrap up the week by traveling Michigan. A look at places to go, things to see, people to meet. Usually I say within a tank full of gas, but well, depends on how big the gas tank is. If you have my little Eco Sports, it's not that big. But if you got something like maybe my Ron Weatherby mobile Buick with that big 16-gallon fuel tank, yeah, that could take you a long way. Dave Lorenz of Pure Michigan joins us on a regular basis to talk about things going on in the state on the tourism basis. He's on the other end of our Zoom connection. Good morning, Dave. Welcome back.
Good morning, Gary. Good to be back. And yes, I've been driving around a little bit, traveling safely, making sure to take special attention to all the safety protocols. And I can report to you that even though I know we can't go into restaurants right now still, that you can travel safely and get out there and enjoy yourself. And I hope shop local. I know it's supposed to be shop locally, but we say shop local for some reason. And I really hope that you're doing that because, as we've talked before, Gary, you know, we're social creatures. We're not meant to be, closed in at our home offices or our homes all the time. We need to get outside. So, this coming weekend, as we start to gear up for Christmas and then get ready for the New Year's coming, which we're all looking forward to, I'm hoping that you take a little time to get out there as well. Even if it just means kind of walking around the neighborhood a little bit, wearing that mask if it's a busy neighborhood. I can tell you it's done a world of good for me. It'll do a world of good for you as well.
Our Scott Watson had a chance to chat earlier this morning with Mickey McWilliams talking about skiing in Michigan. And when we chatted with Odie the last couple of weeks, he's saying the ski resorts, even though we don't have a lot of regular real snow, they've been busy churning out the fake stuff to be able to have people enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely true. But, last weekend, they got a ton of snow up north in, that snow belt where all of our kind of lower peninsula ski resorts are. I think that 7, some of them 10 inches of snow. So Crystal Mountain, Shanty Creek, what do they, I forget what they call it now. It's not just Shanty Creek, but let's say that for now. The Boyne properties, both Boyne Grand Mountain and the Highlands and Treetops Resort, all of them have a bunch of fluffy natural snow on top of that snow that they've been making. And for people who still have that old belief that if you make snow, it's not good snow for skiing, believe me, we were the first to really understand how to make snow because of Everett Boyne, Kircher, at Boyne. And we're getting better and better at it. We have the big snowmaking equipment that's built here in Michigan, and we know how to make snow that you would never know as a skier what the difference is. It's really changed a lot. It's not that icy stuff they used to put out. It's the fluffy snow. It's beautiful. So I know that's what I'm going to plan to do. I'll be going up to the various ski resorts sometime next week. And just for fun, I've scheduled a day where I'm going to go to Crystal Mountain for fat tire biking. I'm going to go to Boyne Mountain for zip lining, then Shanty Creek for skiing, and then Treetops Resort for inner tubing. I'm going to do it all in one day. I'll share it on Facebook just in case you wonder if it can really be done. It can be. And I just want to really, I'm doing a little check to see how they're set up and everything. But I'm really happy to know that they're all opening this weekend and that you can travel safely. One thing you'll want to know about is the specific rules of the road for each ski resort, though, and each ski hill you go to. So check in advance. Many of them will want to have you buy your tickets in advance online, and then make sure to bring your masks. I always wear a mask skiing downhill anyway, so that's no big deal to me, because whether you're inside or out, you'll be doing that. And then use your cars, unless you're staying overnight, use your cars as kind of like a day camp spot instead of, remember, we all would go inside and, sit around a fire and drink cocoa or whatever. That's going to be more difficult now because of the need to socially distance. So do all that stuff and have a great time. Gary, just by chance, well, not by chance, on Monday, our winter advertising campaign starts. So this will be the first time in more than a year that Pure Michigan is back on the air. So I'm really thrilled about that. We have a new ad that is premiering, and I think you're going to really love it. I think it speaks to what we've all been going through. I think it gives us a real sense of hope because we've gone through 2020. Soon we'll be over it, and we're going to be able to go downhill in a different way, a way that we're going to all enjoy starting this weekend.
Speaking about going downhill, and you said you're going to do all these, in one day, all those things. It would be a challenge if you went on the big ski jump up in the UP.
One of them up there. There are a couple of them, but I've been to many of them, including at Copper Peak, which they really use now in the fall because they're setting up a new system where they actually do that ski flying on like broom bristles, like plastic broom bristles. I can't imagine doing that. I mean, I have gotten up to the top of those things. And the thing is, as you're going up there, you take an elevator up to a certain point, and then you crawl, and then you start going up, ladders and whatever. You can feel the movement. I mean, they're swaying back and forth. I don't know what those people are thinking. It's crazy. In the Marquette area, they actually have a big pit. So their ski jumps kind of go, you start out kind of at ground level, you go down deep into this pit, and you start flying back up. It's just crazy stuff. I'll do a lot of things, but I'm not going to do that.
wise decision.
Oh,
I do want to talk about on this last opportunity before Christmas, the Michigan Inspired Gift Guide. I would assume there's a link to it through the Michigan.org website.
There is. If you go to michigan.org/support local, and then go through all that information, great information about shopping tips and restaurant support tips. And then there's like a shopping guide there as well. So look through that. Man, I hope you support your local retailers and local restaurants. Holland has such a great downtown. Wouldn't it be a shame if it wasn't there this spring? And that's really where we are right now, friends. We really are at that point that if we don't intentionally go out of our way to support those local retailers and restaurants, and if we don't do that all throughout the state, they're not going to be able to make it. After we get through the holidays here and that gift giving time goes away, this is traditionally the most difficult time for retailers and for restaurants. So it's already difficult for them, but because of all the restrictions and challenges with COVID, wow. So think about what your downtown would be like without, the windmill, or without, so many other, cool restaurants. And I go to Holland specifically to go to Gazelle because that's where I get my running gear. And then my wife goes across the street to Chico's. And, we love downtown. We love everything about downtown Holland. It would be, I know, unfathomable to think about downtown Holland having empty storefronts, but that is the real potential. I mean, probability. It's the real probability if we don't support them now. So do what you can. Don't just kind of go online and kind of blindly order stuff from everywhere around the world. At least give your local retailers and restaurants a shot. And one thing I will give you a recommendation in addition to going to michigan.org/support local. Some of the restaurants I've noticed are doing something really cool. Maybe some of their signature dishes, they will prepare them somewhat, and then have all the ingredients put into like a delivery box, and then you can ship them out. A friend of mine in Rochester or Birmingham, I forget, sent me a meal for my wife and myself, just like that for Christmas. And all we did is basically warm it up, mixed it all together. It was fantastic. We missed the atmosphere of being in the restaurant, but that'll come soon. It was a great way to support that restaurant. It was a very thoughtful gift because our friends know what we like, and we know we like this restaurant. So, think about that as well. And And that might be an option for you to consider. I know I was telling some friends in Detroit yesterday that Fricano's, the famous pizzeria in Grand Haven, I know that they'll send out frozen pizzas ready to be baked. We've sent those to Florida family. So you think about that. Support those retailers and restaurants, please. Please, I'm begging of you.
Dave Lorenz, I want to thank you very much for joining us this morning on WHTC's Morning News with our Travel Michigan segment. Again, your trip begins at Michigan.org. We wish you and your family and everyone involved with Pure Michigan and the Michigan Economic Development Corporation a blessed Christmas, a happy and safe New Year, and we'll talk to you in 3 weeks on January the 8th.
Yeah, God bless you, Gary, and everybody else. Have a great holiday, everybody.
Thank you very much, Dave Lorenz on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC.